Here is my review for the latest Doctor Who episode, The Story in the Engine, both spoiler-free and spoilery. I will give a warning before I start talking spoilers. In this episode, the Doctor visits his favourite barbershop in Lagos, Nigeria, but the shop is under new management, and the Doctor must save the customers from the clutches of the sinister barber. In keeping with the current era's fantasy bent, this episode leans into folklore and myth rather than sci-fi. The mechanics of how everything worked was a bit hand-wavy, which was jarring to me at times. But as with folklore, the important thing was the characters and what they tell us about the human condition. The character Abby was a highlight for me because I love her complicated past and moral dilemma. Even the villainous barber had incredibly human motivations for someone who is not strictly human. As with many recent episodes of Doctor Who, I felt an extra 10 minutes of runtime would allow the story and concept more room to breathe. But overall, this was a solid episode with a lot of fresh ideas. I'm reviewing every episode of this season on all my socials, so follow along on whatever platform is your favourite. Now I'm going to talk spoilers, so if you don't want spoilers, hit that favourites button and come back later. For the rest of us, let's get into it. A beating heart inside a brain? What else is a story? Might be one of my favourite Doctor Who quotes. One of the most jarring yet powerful moments for me was the Doctor's reaction to the shop's previous owner, Omo, offering the Doctor up as a captive in exchange for freeing himself and the other customers. The Doctor is resilient enough to fuel the barber's story-powered engine by himself. So at first, I was surprised he reacted badly to Omo's plan, because doesn't the Doctor want to save the customers? But I actually like that we get this vulnerability from the Doctor. As the Doctor says at the start of the episode, having a black body comes with extra challenges depending on the time and place. But in this barbershop, he feels accepted. On top of that, the Doctor has long craved fellowship with humans. He can endure a lot, but he needs human connection to sustain him. So to have his friend treat him as disposable really hurt him, and I'm glad Omo apologized in the end. As I said earlier, Abby, or Abena, was a highlight for me, and I love that she helped the Doctor find the engine room of the ship by braiding a map into his hair. The Doctor previously met Abena when facing off against her father Anansi during the Fugitive Doctor's incarnation, and the Fugitive Doctor appears as a little flashback in the episode. As much as I've been dying for a proper Fugitive Doctor story, it was nice to see her, however briefly. But she did say, "I was busy in a different story that might be finished one day." Give us a Fugitive Doctor spin-off, Russell! Speaking of past incarnations, I always love a Doctor montage, such as the one on the engine room screens when the Doctor threatens to overload the engine with his stories. Interestingly, the Doctor says, "My body is like a barbershop, all of them inside telling their stories, bickering." This may be a reference to the vestiges of the Doctor's past incarnations known as the Guardians of the Edge, who guided the 13th Doctor through the events of her final episode. There is an unconfirmed rumour that the 15th Doctor will regenerate at the end of this season. I'm hoping this isn't a purposeful reference to the Guardians of the Edge in advance of a regeneration, because I don't want 15 to go yet. Finally, when Belinda was entering the barber shop, she saw a little girl, who was apparently Captain Poppy from last season's episode Space Babies. I'm excited to find out what she's doing there. So what did you think of the story in the engine? Let me know in the comments.